A high-stakes showdown as Republican candidates face their second big debate tomorrow night. All eyes, of course, will be on the man on the left-hand side of the screen, and also Dr. Ben Carson on the right as they lead the polls as we head into tomorrow's primetime event. Boy, they're such different people in manner and style, to be sure. Welcome, everybody. Brand new hour now of America's Newsroom. I'm Martha McCallum.
And I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning. One day before the next big debate, and a brand new poll showing Dr. Ben Carson rocketing his way into Donald Trump's orbit. Trump and Carson now just 4 points apart among Republican primary voters, 27-23%. That's within the margin of error. Front-runner Donald Trump talking about his rivals and their polling numbers at a huge rally he had last night in Dallas, Texas.
Carly's giving me a little bit of a hard time, even though her poll numbers are horrible. She's the one. She was another one. She's surging. Ben is, everybody's surging but me. Hillary's not surging, I tell you that. They're not saying that.
Picture.
He had 20,000 in Dallas. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron's waiting for him in Los Angeles this morning. He's going to be on board the USS Iowa later today, and he's using the battleship to talk about military issues. How specific will he get, Carl?
Well, the campaign isn't really saying. Trump aides are quick to say that Mr. Trump says what he wants to say, and it's mostly off the cuff and often extemporaneous, and they're not going to predict. But he is coming here. The event is going to be on the deck of the USS Iowa, and it's sponsored by a conservative super PAC, a veterans group. And he has been talking about military issues. In fact, he got tripped up in an interview a couple of weeks ago on foreign policy and military type issues, and he says he'll do the military better than anybody. So that's a big part of what he'll be doing tonight, and it serves really as his preparation for the debate. He'll certainly try to make reference to his appearance here tonight at tomorrow's debate at the Reagan Library. He was also last night in Dallas going after his fellow outsiders. You heard him talk a little bit there about Carly. Ben Carson, having pulled into a statistical tie with Donald Trump, is not going unnoticed in the Trump world, and Donald talked about that last night, making the point that no matter how well Ben's doing, Trump, thinks he's doing better. Listen.
Ben Carson, good guy. I think he's 11 or 12, and they're saying, Carson, here's the headline, Carson surging. I said, what about me? Where's my name? I'm at 40. Where's my name? It's unbelievable.
Well, it's not quite 40. It's 27% in the latest poll from CBS and the New York Times. Ben Carson, soft-spoken neurosurgeon, has had his medical skills and history questioned by Donald Trump, and his faith, too. Carson has gone out of his way to say he didn't mean to insult Trump, but he's not going to get into name-calling battle with Ben Carson. And then there's Carly Fiorina, who will be on the stage tomorrow. 11 candidates. She's been added. CNN adjusted the rules to allow her in. And it'll really be an opportunity for her to fix what she says is one of her big problems, her absence of name recognition. And what she did was take Trump's assault on her looks when he said, look at that face can't be a face of a president. She's turned that into an attack ad, and she's getting a lot of attention for that. Some have already called it the best ad so far of the cycle. So a lot of politics to come in the next 24 hours, and obviously Trump's going to be center stage in a lot of ways.
That's the category of so-called outsiders. What about those who would be considered more establishment, Carl?
Yeah, the other 8 of 11. They've all been campaigning longer than Fiorina and Carson and Trump. That all of them have held office in some fashion or another. All of them have experience, and all of them are at 6% or less. A remarkable sort of bifurcation of the polls, wherein Trump and Carson are effectively getting half, and the rest of the field is down essentially under 5. Remarkable tie, and we're going to see tomorrow a lot of elbows as a consequence of that, and we're told the questions are going to pit the candidates against one another, so it will be candidate against candidate barking about their positions. Bill.
You got it. Thank you, Carl. Good preview there in California. Carl Cameron. Here's Martha with more now.
You bet.
So here's the lineup for the primetime debate tomorrow night. Donald Trump right in the middle as the front runner. Mostly everybody else looking for a breakout moment tomorrow night. And the rhetoric has intensified in the last couple of days. Here's some of it.
I'm tired of people tearing down this country and dividing us. I believe we need to unite behind a common purpose. And that purpose is a strong America, because America's leadership in the world matters.
Crony capitalism is alive and well, ladies and gentlemen, because when government gets big, costly, complicated, powerful, Only the big, the powerful, the wealthy, and the well-connected can handle it.
We're still all Americans, and we have much more in common than the things that separate us. And that's what we must keep in mind, because our strength is in our unity.
I think if you try too hard, people see that. That's not what they want in a leader. What they want in a leader is somebody who's strong and knows who they are in here. And that's exactly what I'll show people on Wednesday night.
Everybody's going to be clamoring for a moment on that stage. Mark Tucson is columnist for The Washington Post, a fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, and a Fox News contributor. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Martha.
What are you looking for in terms of who breaks out or who tries to break out tomorrow night?
You know, it's a jump ball. That poll you showed shows that Donald Trump's lead is actually expanding. He's gone from 24 to 27, which is good for him. But Ben Carson is surging. He went from 6% before the last debate to 23% right now. So he's 4 points behind Donald Trump. So that just shows you what a good debate performance can do. It's vaulted Ben Carson, who was virtually unknown, into second place in the Republican field. And the really interesting thing about that poll is that they asked candidates, so you had those two candidates combined have 50% of the vote. Everybody else is in single digit. If you take all the candidates combined, they're at 38% total combined. But the support is soft. Only 63% of Republicans say that they are open to changing their position on the candidate. So it is a jump ball. The electorate is up for grabs for somebody who performs.
Yeah, I mean, it's stunning when you look at the single-digit performances of these individuals who, you know, a couple years ago, people would have said, well, the bench is so deep on the Republican side. There's so much talent. You've got these governors who've done all this shaking up in their states across the country. And now these folks are struggling for oxygen at this point. And I thought this was an interesting moment for Jeb Bush on the campaign trail, and I want to play it for you and get your thoughts on it.
Secure. Let me show you something. The party that I believe in
I mean, did you ever think you'd see Jeb Bush unbuttoning his shirt to reveal a Reagan Bush 84 T-shirt during one of his campaign appearances, Mark?
Yeah, there's Clark Kent in his glasses taking off his shirt and showing his Superman outfit. I mean, it's interesting because, of course, his campaign slogan is Jeb ! He doesn't have Bush anywhere to be seen, and now he's embracing the Bush in his name. So that's an interesting tactic. But look, I mean, the problem we have here today. Look, Jeb Bush. If the voters right now were looking for a politician who delivers, Jeb Bush would be a strong candidate for the nomination. But the problem is voters are not looking for that right now. At least Republican voters, that's not what they say they want. They want an outsider who's going to shake up Washington. And so all the politicians are struggling. If you look at those numbers, Carson and Trump, 50%, Fiorina 6%, she's another outsider. So that's 56% of the electorate who are supporting somebody who's never held elective office. All the politicians are in single digits right now. So they've got to do something to shake it up to show themselves that they can be outsiders too if they want to catch
So what would you advise them? If you were advising any one of these candidates, Rubio, Christie, Bush, Fiorina, any of these folks, or not Fiorina because she's sort of on the other list, what would you tell them to do tomorrow night?
Oh, number one, be yourself. I mean, I think there's too many people who are trying to attack Trump, or, you got Jindal going out and saying that he's a circus act. Bush has an ad out saying he's a self-promoter. Forget about Donald Trump and be yourself. I mean, if you look at who's the guy who emerged from the last debate successfully? It was Ben Carson. He didn't have a negative thing to say about Donald Trump. He didn't have a negative thing to say about anybody. He's presenting a hopeful, optimistic, positive vision for the country. Yeah. And people find that incredibly appealing. So these people have to stop worrying about Donald Trump and be themselves. Be Scott Walker, be John Kasich, be Jeb Bush. Present yourself, make your case for yourself, and how you're going to shake up Washington and how you're the best person to do what Republican voters want.
It certainly worked for Trump. Apparently on his campaign, on the whiteboard in his campaign headquarters, it just says, "Let Trump be Trump." And that seems to be working for him.
But
Mark,
he's not getting enough attention. Nobody mentions his name.
I know. Where's my name? Thank you, Mark.
So we are your election headquarters after the debate tomorrow night. Tune in at 11 p.m. for this lineup. Check it out. O'Reilly is live at 11 o'clock Eastern. Megan's live at midnight, and Sean is live at 1 a.m. back to back to back. And then we'll see where we are in the world then.
Popcorn ready. Right. Curl up on the couch and watch for the night. And we'll be back here in the morning to rehash it all after that. Right.